So I looked around the internet and I really couldn't find any videos that showed this Nakevich 13.8-inch Tesla-like screen displayed. Here it is installed in a 2015 Dodge Durango RT. We'll look at some responsiveness, some settings, and other info, maybe to give some folks more information than I had so they don't have to buy it on faith. So we turn on ACC. So it does take just a little while for this thing to come up. It immediately goes in and tries to connect to CarPlay. But while it's doing that, we'll take a look at some of these functions. So first, all the settings in the Dodge are preserved, including the USB ports and auxiliary port in this Dodge. We've got a radio.
And lows in the upper 20s. A freeze warning in effect beginning at 2 a.m. Between 2 a.m. and 9 a.m. Wednesday, sunshine and highs in the mid-50s. This report.
The controls on the steering wheel work just fine. It's quite responsive, going back and forth. We've got 4G connectivity, so you can add a SIM card to that and make sure it's fully connected, so you can use this with or without CarPlay or Android Auto. So it comes up, mapping comes up, works fine. We've got a microphone that's included with the unit. Directions to the mall. So it'll take voice commands, directions, start driving. You know, just like
head east toward
Google
Maryland
Maps.
178 South.
Go back and we can, of course, load any apps you want from the Google Play Store. So we've got video, Netflix, and other activities here. You can start up, play movies in the vehicle. You can set this thing to do rolling video or restrict rolling video, so you don't have to be tempted to watch video while you're driving, but it would be good for your passengers. We've got air conditioning. Start the vehicle. So all your AC commands, including seat heaters, the seat ventilation, all of those commands work fine. We've got automatic. The max AC function works great. That's auto. We can, dual and single AC is working. It will also control the rear AC and units in the rear. Got steering wheel heater, works fine. All the settings work, defrost. And the auto defrost commands and other activities are working great. Cut that off. We've got the backup camera and moving straight into backup. Works great. Comes up very quickly. Screen looks good. The backup radar sensors also work. It's got an auxiliary port, and I'm not quite sure what that setting is for. I'm thinking I don't use this, but I'm thinking our auxiliary port here, this would be the way to access that auxiliary port and get info. But it looks like it comes up, with the possibility of video screen. I haven't figured this one out. I haven't figured out how to get that working. You can, of course, set your wallpaper on home screen just like you can with any other Android tablet. We've got a number of car settings, some interesting settings, accessory gauges, which all work great. Pitch and roll for the unit. Got a full dashboard with tacks that work. Engine info and dyno for sport track and other activity, as well as some G-force settings. So some pretty nice little activities here. Power flow, no EV on this one, so I'm not sure that's going to help very much. However, what I wanted to show you is all the car settings. So, all the settings that were available in the Uconnect unit before are still available here. So we can set delays, running times, cornering, auto exits, and a number of these. So this is a unit that's built for any Dodge. I think this one is 2015 to 2020. So it will include settings that are not available here. So you've got the setting, but it's not available. So this Dodge doesn't have sport. So you see it doesn't turn on or off. Launch doesn't turn on. I don't have auto start, stop, so that is not going to come on. However, I do have collision, so that works. So any of the settings that work will work for you and turn on and off. If they don't work, they will not activate. So parking, activity and sensors on and off. We've got, doesn't work. I don't have suspension features and others. So, but power liftgate alerts, door locks, easy setting seats. So virtually every every setting that you can imagine, even the third row headset fold, do work, right? So it'll drop those headsets so you can, I used to do that to mess around with my kids in the back. Radar sense, auto park with brake, the blind spot alerts. All of these settings are here. It will use your built-in amplifier. So those settings are here at the bottom. So original amplifier, we'll use that. You can set the amp volume, which will make sure that the gain isn't too much for the unit. So set that to the appropriate setting to make sure you're not getting distortion. You can set your left, right, front, rear balance here as well. It's got the standard bass, mid, treble settings that were on the Uconnect. We got the speed adjust volume, surround sound, and the amp switch. So one of the things that I really enjoyed, and these are all the various apps that are here, one of the things that I was completely impressed with is the DSP function. So I've had this vehicle for 10 years and I've never been happy with the bass and the boominess and the sound coming out of this receiver. I've thought about, upgrading the stereo many times and getting new speakers. This has solved the problem. So these are, these settings, at least for me, are horrible. I don't like the way any of these sound. However, you can set your own custom settings, and at least in this vehicle, these custom settings sound great. Frankly, this is the best that the stereo has ever sounded in this vehicle. And then, of course, we can go here to CarPlay, and it looks like it is still trying to connect. So I've had some of these issues before. I'm not sure if it's because I'm using video on the phone or not. But let me pause here and let's find out if this is the issue.